Welcome to the Every Gym Podcast. My name is Andy Brady, joined today in studio by a gaggle of ministers. We've got local legend and our middle school minister, Eric Bro Adcock. How are you, bro?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. On my right is our conductor of the Preteen experience, spouse of a PhD student and candidate, soon-to-be candidate, check writer to multiple institutions of higher education in the state of Texas, Mr. Jason Medlin.
What's up, everyone? Send me money.
And Andrew.
Hello. Welcome. Thanks for having us.
It's nothing. Bag of nothing.
Andrew and his mustache.
We've got a full episode today where we're talking all things NSBC, summer camps, and VBS. It's a special episode today where we're hearing all about what God did with our camps and VBS this summer. It's been a wild one for Andrew. We started with no hair, full beard. Now we've got hair, and we're impersonating Tom Selleck.
That's right.
I love it.
We did start with no hair. I forgot about that.
It's good. It's
Bro's
been
fast.
a testimony.
Bro, that does look like Tom Selleck.
That's a good meme you got there, big guy.
So just call me
I wish I could grow a mustache.
We will be off the rails.
Okay.
That is a fact. And
Thanks
that's
for being with us.
Why are you looking wide-eyed on purpose?
I'm excited.
This is my excited face. I think it's fair to say, guys, that we tend to attack summer with a ferociousness around here.
Yes, I am exhausted.
We have had, between the ministries that you three get to lead, we've covered over half of the summer between trips and camps and VBS and stuff. Medlin, I'm going to ask you first. In your experience, what makes a successful kids camp or VBS experience?
Yeah, one of the things that I love watching is just the interaction with like adults and kids.
Mm-hmm.
So for VBS, I think we had like 450 kids or something like that, but we had over 200 adults. A lot of them new.
That's cool.
And it's really fun to watch the adults that have never done anything, like walk into a room with 200 kids that are like right on the edge of chaos and just go, what have I done? And then by the end, they're like not even fazed by the chaos because they've learned, oh, this is just how it goes.
That's fun.
But just watching the interaction between the adults and the kids. And then just anytime kids can just say, when you get a parent that says, I don't know what y'all did, but my kid said it was the most fun they've had all summer. That's always a high point.
That's awesome. Bro, where do y'all go for camp?
Panama City Beach, Florida, at the Cottages Christian Retreat.
Let's go. And you've done that a few times there, right?
Oh, yeah. Been there quite a few.
All right. So what makes, in your mind, like as you're getting stuff lined up and you're recruiting kiddos and you're having parent meetings and all that stuff, like what's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for you? What makes it a good experience?
I mean, for us, it's just one of my adults. The overnight bus ride breaks them. We want to break them. They want to listen to us, and so they kind of get off. They're kind of, where are we? What are we doing? Because a lot of those kids have never been on a trip like that, especially without their mom and dad. And just, of course, that puts some challenges there too. But we tell the parents, hey, we're going to treat everybody the same.
That's good.
We have our expectations, and it just gets them away from everything, phones, tablets, TV, friends, and they hang out. And what the pot of gold is how they come together.
Yeah.
They come together. And I mean, Jason's been there. I mean, these guys came for a few days and hung with us. And just that's what we want. We want to have that kind of experience to bring. Jason and I have the 1 year youth group.
Yeah.
So we got 2 grades for 1 year, and then it switches. So at the end of the summer or into summer camp, you get in there and you built something.
That's cool.
But then you got to start over. Right, bro? You got to
Yes.
start over. So
That's a real part of it. So y'all went to the mountains again this year?
We did. We made it.
You
too.
made it all the way there?
Well, we had a bus breakdown the way there and back. So, it's a good time.
That's fair.
14 kids in an old church van.
What makes it
Okay.
a good experience for you?
I mean, I'd say the same thing. We had like our students just coming together, getting excited, having conversations that probably wouldn't happen without that environment. And this year, we had every opportunity to complain about all sorts of stuff. The bus breaks down, it's hot, we're on the side of the road. We take one bus.
Sounds like
40
planes,
miles.
trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
We're
We're on the side of the road.
We take one bus 40 miles to this truck stop, all the girls get out, and there's three. I think it was me, John Coleman, and I think it's just two of us, just two guys and two lady leaders with like 50 girls on the side, like at this truck stop off I-40. So we're like, Lord, please don't let anything crazy happen.
What's the worst that could happen?
And then the guys are hanging back. They discovered games. Like they grab a rock and throw it at a fence post, and they're like, "We came up with this game. It's incredible." It's like, yeah, we used to do that all the time. So
Being
We
outside,
called it the 90s.
yeah, so
we were outside.
we started camp. Just everybody loving on one another, encouraging one another, and man, it was the best week of camp since I've been at Northside. So it was a good week.
That's good. All right, so for all of your camps and VBS, like there's a lot of labor that I don't know that everyone's aware of that y'all go through. Long hours, a lot of stuff.
Oh, we just throw it all together at the last minute,
Just wing it
it's
as
like
you go.
Wednesday night. We're just throwing the Frisbee out there. Not a big deal.
That's not how it works.
That is not how it works.
not.
But like, were there any moments, either during camp and VBS that like it caught you in the moment, or maybe reflecting on it, that was like I'm so glad I get to work towards this. Like I get to appreciate what God is doing out of the work that we did from it.
So, for VBS, we do like over the top, insane decorations and stuff, try to do the whole campus. And I always send out just kind of a blanket email to any of my people and say, if you want to come up and help, you can. And there was a family that I never expected to show up, and all of them showed up. And they worked for a couple of days, and I got to know them and really enjoyed spending time talking with them. And that turned into them coming to VBS. And then that has now also turned into their family volunteering on Sunday mornings and helping me. And that all started when they showed up at VBS. And so just to be able to connect those dots of church involvement is really cool.
That's awesome. That's a really good one, bro. I think all three of you do this. VBS, I think, is the one that stands out as one that impacts a lot of people in the church just because it impacts such a high percentage of our families. But there's all sorts of on-ramps into serving, letting God use you and work through you, and then connect you to other people. It drips off of that week and in the time leading up to it. What about you? Like any moments? Why are you?
You can't get past the fact that you said drips.
Well,
it oozes out of it.
Yeah.
Like you can't avoid
It
it.
cooks or
Y'all
sells.
No,
are
we're gonna
so
cut it.
cool.
It's just
Wish I was
four
cool.
middle-aged
Sorry.
guys
What was the question?
saying words they don't know what they mean. What?
Jason looked at me.
Any moments?
Why? I didn't do anything.
For both of you still listening, we appreciate your patience.
Both of you.
Both of them.
Please do not email our bosses. So Andrew, for you, any moments this year with camp that either while it happened or when you look back on it kind of gave you like that was really cool, it's worth it?
Yeah, I mean, it keeps coming back to the bus ride, but there's a lot of pressure on leaders on the side of the road with these guys. There's a lot of tension with not being able to get to camp on time, and man, I didn't hear a single complaint, even from adults. Like they were just whatever we asked them to do, and we were changing plans. We were making plans. The bus people, without us knowing, were making their own plans, and then they came to us with their plan. I was like, oh, I didn't know who's supposed to be doing these plans, and every time they were just rolling with it. And I do think it went into the week of that, and I think even getting to know students.
Yeah.
Like, man, this year that we were, I felt like it was maybe more intentional. I'm getting to know students, spending time with students, and man, it was just awesome. I mean, I got a nickname from the girls.
Okay.
My nickname is Princess.
Okay.
I embrace it. I have a princess necklace on.
Why are you sharing this?
I don't know, just
Oh, it's a tiara.
kidding.
I have a tiara.
so I just felt like we really connected with the group, and to me that was what made it so worth it, because it's just, especially changing camps the last couple years and trying to do this new camp, and man, everybody was super excited. It was almost like it was their first time there. So it was good. It was worth it.
That's good. Bro, when y'all go, like, y'all don't just play in the water all day.
No.
You got correct me if I'm wrong, you set up 2 different like teachers and speakers for the whole group time, right?
Just a little bit of flavor.
What's the setup of the day for your middle schoolers?
It's 8:00 breakfast, and then we do a quiet time, and then we have early morning rec. It's not quite as hot, like 9:45.
Yeah,
and then we're back in our little worship room around 11. Cleaned up if you want to. 'Cause I wear the same thing every day. I don't care. I'm an old person, and we do that. And there's a lunch. Then Jason does like a little 1:00 deal, because I figured out years ago these kids can't handle 4 solid days on the water.
Oh, yeah.
They can't handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, a mom said, "What can I do to get my son ready for camp?" I go, "Take him outside. That'd be the smart thing to do," because they're not outside. And then afternoon free time, dinner, then that night, and we do a special feature at night. But what I really liked was, this is very interesting, because usually Jim goes and helps me with rec. Jim Garner is our family ministry pastor. Hey, bro.
Shout out to Jim.
Shout out to Jim. Got you down. And, he didn't go with me. So I was kind of doing a rec with Jason, helped me a little bit, and my friend Rodney plays guitar with me. We helped a little bit. But we didn't set up any kind of tournament stuff. No volleyball, no basketball.
Okay.
But what we found, and these guys saw it, anytime there's a break in the schedule, it's free play. They'll go play basketball, volleyball, right? Every day. They did that.
that's cool.
And I was like, so that tells me these kids aren't getting out and playing much, because they did it every day. But the spirit among themselves and how they treated each other, that's what was great about it, because everybody was involved.
That's awesome.
Everybody. And that's why we liked it so much, because everybody played. I was a rec major in college, and one of the rules of a game is everybody plays, nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
That was because when you do games, that's what you want.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. So it was just beautiful, because even I had a couple special needs guys. They came, and man, our guys just embraced them, and they played every day together. It was beautiful, man. And the girls, there wasn't a lot of backbiting. They just all were together, and then they pair off in their small groups at night. So it was just beautiful in that respect.
That's awesome.
So
That reminds me of, this is how they will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another.
if we can get that across, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because they'll remember that. And of course, I have little sayings that I've used for years, when we're don't waste it, make today count. I use those things all the time. And I tell you this, and parents, you've probably heard your kids say this: when we get ready to get off the bus, go eat, because they get off and go lunch. I go, take care of each other.
Yeah.
That's basic.
That's our role.
But it's hard in this culture, because everybody's out for themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing to get across.
That's good. Bro, y'all did not do camp at a mountain? Y'all did not do camp at the Florida beaches?
No, we did camp in the Sahara Desert.
Y'all
Sahara.
what luxurious resort did y'all do camp at?
We go to Heart of Texas camp in Brownwood, which is very hot, but I love it because the staff there is very chill, and so it kind of fits. They're not jocking me about anything. They're not over nickel and diming me for every time we need toilet paper. That'll be an extra $10 or whatever. So it's a great location. One of the things that I loved about camp, and I'll tell this story, we had a 6th grade girl who, they have a zip line there at the camp. So you walk up 3 or 4 flights of stairs, and then you stand there at the platform, and then you have to jump off and slide down. And so she has gone to camp as a 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grader. Wow. And every year she says, this is the year I'm going down the zip line. And she puts on the harness, and she walks up the stairs, and she stands on the platform, and she has never been able to make herself jump off. Right? So she does the walk down the stairs and, in the thing. And so this year she was like, I'm going to do it. And so she goes up to the front, and all the 6th graders are down there, and we're all watching. And it's just a cool moment, because she's standing up there, and you can tell she's having this conversation in her brain. I don't want to do this, but this is my last chance.
Yeah.
And so then she just takes one small step, and she passes the point where she can catch herself.
Yes.
And so she just falls off, literally, and then just goes down. And when she got down
into the zip line.
Onto the zip
there
line.
was no tragedy,
not down to the ground. Yeah.
This was as designed.
Right.
Met the safety standards.
So she goes down the zip line, and when she gets on the ground, when they unharness her, she comes sprinting over to me and some of the other girls that were cheering her, and she has got the biggest smile on her face, and you can just tell she is so proud of herself. And she jumped into our group, and we all gave her this huge big hug. And like she was a different person after that.
Yeah.
You know, very tendency to be very shy, not talk to many people, but the amount of confidence that gave her, that wasn't like a spiritual moment in her life, but that was a really, really important moment for her. And it was just really, really cool to see that. So
that's a cool
it's probably
story.
one of my lasting memories at camp this year.
Thank you.
Would you guys agree that there's some growing up that goes on in these trips?
Yes.
I mean,
Probably better
I
because
don't lead
mom
one
and
of
dad may
these.
not be there sometimes.
so I don't lead one of these, but my oldest
Oh,
just
yeah.
went for his first one. And there was some growing up that happened.
Yeah.
Like it's, a few days after looking at mama and like, hey, there's a few things different about our boy right now. Like,
Yeah.
And that's a
I
testimony to that.
I don't say this is a funny statement, but it reveals some truth. Like when you tell us, well, my kid's not going to eat this, or you need to serve him this,
Yes.
and he needs to go to bed at 10, and he needs to have this song sung to him or this story read to him, and we're like, okay, we'll take care of it. And then camp just kind of happens, and they just kind of learn to deal with stuff themselves,
Yeah.
which is a good skill.
Of course.
And so, I think Eric has a funny story about this kid a long time ago that mom was like, he won't go to bed and he has to take all this medicine and he ended up going to camp and going through all the activities, and at night he went right to sleep.
Oh yeah.
The
great Devin Hancock.
Yeah,
He's
so-
he's an EMT now.
My
Those-
God, Dev.
Those moments where we can just get the kids away from some of the parenting tendencies
Sure.
and be like,
We're not ragging you, mom and dad. We're just talking.
right. And so it's just good to have a village to raise your children.
That's
a good
good.
word.
That's a good word. When y'all go to dwell to the mountains, I've always been impressed with the structure of it because there is worship every night. There's whole group stuff in the morning, but talk a little bit about what the students get to choose while they're there in terms of getting in the Word and learning some things.
So there's every day there's a morning Bible study for split between high school and middle school, and then while middle school's at rec, high school's in Bible study, and we bring in a unique teacher, and they're usually walking us through usually a specific book, and they're helping students engage the Word in a way that's very practical, and then there's conversation throughout, so they're learning how to basically have a quiet time themselves, and they're actually seeing it as they're going through something. So rather than how do I decide this? Do I just open my Bible and flip through and point and then read that and pray? So it's really cool they have that option. And then in the afternoons we do breakouts, and there were about a dozen different breakouts.
Okay.
And so students get to pick 4 of those. Wow. For 2 days those are offered, and man, they're usually great, very practical breakouts.
What are some of the things that are kind of mainstays in the breakout offerings? Like because you're part of the group that plans the dwell
Yes.
camp.
Yeah, I wish.
What's the heart for breakouts?
Yeah, well, just giving students answers to the questions they're asking, or things that are relevant to them where they're at. This sounds terrible. I can't even remember the breakout I did this year. I'd have to sit down and think.
Which one did Pastor Thomas did one?
He did one, and I'm over the breakouts. That's the worst part about it. They sent me their outlines before
You're
they
in
did
charge?
a breakout. Yeah, so
They were life-changing.
They were life changing. It's
been a long summer.
It has been a long
You did
summer.
the year
In
before.
fairness,
You did
your camp
honoring
is
your
in
father and
like
mother.
at the beginning of June.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's been
true.
a long time.
That's true. It has been a long time. Pastor Jim's was on. Was it on? This sounds terrible.
I was told, and I'm trying to remember right now.
What was it? Oh, it was on suffering. So bad things happen. That's what Pastor Jim did, and man, I heard nothing but great things from his breakout. And so this year, the structure of those were, we had 4 breakouts that only happened one time, and then we had 8 breakouts that happened all
Every
4 times.
Okay.
And so Pastor Jim had one of the large breakouts, which was in the worship auditorium. And so it was just a really cool opportunity to have him be able to go and see a part of that, because John Durham was a speaker, and John Durham and him are really close, went to college together. And so he was the speaker for the week. And it's just cool to have Pastor Jim there. Pastor Jim Garner came out. Man, it's just it was cool for them to be able to experience camp, and for our students to see that. I think that was probably one of the things that I remembered was like, man, our pastor came out, and students were almost shocked, like, hey, I saw my pastor at camp.
Right.
And he would, like, I didn't just see him in worship time. Like, he hung out with us. He walked around. He spent the night in the super nice hotels that they have to offer. You've stayed there before. So yeah, the breakouts are really cool, and it's an opportunity for students to have those questions answered. I figured if I talked long enough, I could remember my breakout.
It was good. Nailed it.
But anyways, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I think. And then to add to that is the concert of prayer is on that last day that we would normally do breakout.
Mm-hmm.
And man, when you have a 2.5 hour structured worship prayer time, and students are engaging in that and praying specific topics for 2 hours,
Okay, so that's
it's incredible.
So explain to me like I'm 5. You say concert of prayer. We just have a bunch of high school students singing prayer words.
Yeah. So no, that's not what it is.
So what? Like, explain. You gotta quit. What actually is concert of prayer? Because it is. It's a major staple in Dwell. What's actually going on there?
Yeah. So it's an intentional time of worship and prayer, and I'll explain what that means. So after every song, one of the leaders at Dwell or a youth pastor will come up, and they will walk us through specific topics to pray about. So usually the first one we talk about is we read Psalm 51, and we're gonna pray for our own heart. So we read Psalm 51, and students have time by themselves to just examine their heart, confess sin, whatever it is that comes to mind in those moments, and they're spending time in prayer. And then someone closes that time. The next song starts, and then there's about 7 or 8 different options, from praying for your friends, praying for your schools, praying for teachers and admin, praying for leaders in our country, praying for missionaries, praying for the nations. There's all these, praying for your local church and your pastors.
Yeah.
And they're spending time, like, literally praying. It's not, you think, oh, is everybody doing that? No. Students that I'm like, there's no way this person's gonna pray. And man, they're praying, and I'm thinking, wow.
They'll surprise you.
Yeah, I'm like,
They'll
man,
surprise you.
they just need opportunity to pray. And you help them a little bit, and they're going to cry out to the Lord. It's really
super
powerful.
equipping, because it's prompting them to pray what Scripture tells us to pray for.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Cool. The Medlin, y'all's camp, I heard a lot about the funtivity going on. There's a lot of funtivity there.
Yes.
It is we crack jokes about Brownwood, but like legitimately, it is a good camp.
Yes.
And
Run it real well.
it's a high quality campground.
Real well.
But I got to hear a ton about the teaching that was going on and the Bible studies and what the lessons were over. I got to, a chunk of our staff go down and visit, because it's only a 2-hour drive. I got to do that one night. Like, what are kind of some of y'all's consistent aims when orchestrating or putting that together?
Yeah, obviously, when you deal with 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th graders, you have to have an element of fun, because if kids don't have any fun, then they're not going to engage in some of the serious stuff. But Brian and Carolyn and I always get together, and we're like, how are we going to introduce Jesus to people that have never heard of Jesus, don't know anything about this God thing, or don't know what the Bible is? How are we going to make it as simple as possible? Like the phrase this year is, following Jesus is simple, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Right? Because the message is simple, but just because we say, hey, you just have to love God, well, that's a hard thing to do sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so simple but hard was what we talked about. But we always want to present the gospel message for those kids that don't know what that message is. But then we also want to challenge kids, because some of our 6th graders have been believers since they were 5 or 6 years now. And a lot of them, their families are very rooted in Scripture and rooted in what it means to follow Jesus. And so they know all the stories, they know all the content in the Bible, or a lot of it. And so we're challenging them to think through things a little bit different.
That's good.
To apply, how does this work with your brothers and sisters? How does this apply in your families? How does this apply with your teams on the ball field or whatever? So they can take things home and go, oh, I can take what I learned and I can apply it in this avenue.
Right.
make an impact. And so
That's good.
those are probably two of the main things that we do. And then just make sure that the music is age appropriate and that's just an act. You know, we don't want anything to be boring.
It's certainly not.
And it's not entertainment spirituality, but it is thought through.
Yeah.
And age
No,
appropriate.
I think all three of you, right, like, given the ages that we are, we either came up or were around in the time of, like, youth group leaning towards being just entertain us. And all three of you are very intentional with, like, stewarding people's attention for a purpose.
Right.
In the way that we should steward it. It's what makes partnering with y'all in ministry so fun. Bro?
Yo.
Who comes and speaks at your camp this last? Who came and spoke?
We got the original bro, Mark Julian, 40 years student ministry, and he really hammers on the scripture memory because he will drop it on you.
Oh, man.
And that's important for our kids.
Is it hard for him to bring the juice and the energy every night?
No, I mean, he's still pretty good. He's pretty good at it. He has a way, but what makes Mark so great is that he's relational and he's out there with them. Kind of like Pastor. You're talking about Pastor a little bit. He don't go to his room. He's out there throwing the ball and hanging out, and he learns their names and just about everything.
Yeah.
About them. In the morning times, we had our friend John Strapazon, you know, and the Joliet great and former Red Raider. And John has such interesting stories because he just starts talking. The kids are just like, then what happened, John?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're really wanting to know because he grew up in that different kind of time. And he brings you in with that, then he drops the scripture in there and connects it, and that's just super cool.
Oh, yeah.
And they go, and they're like, it was funny because my 8th grade guy's like, bro, what's Strap going to talk about that? I said, I don't know. It'll be a wild story, though, man. Something about...
You might leave with a potato chip or a crayon.
You may get a free Coke or something out of it. He goes, yeah, I was in Joliet. We're going to the movie theater. And then we got jumped by Frankie Piccolo. You know, I was like, oh, my gosh. So he's probably in the penitentiary, this guy, you know, gangster or whatever. But it's just kind of fun, you know, to get those things. And Jason does a great job. I asked him years ago to do, we call it boogie check, but there's no dancing. Mm-hmm. It's just a ridiculous name I put in there, but he'll do stuff that'll be a little more interactive. Yeah. But it's all the three things are very different, and I think that's good for our kids.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's a kind of deal where we challenge them. You got to own it. Yeah. Because your mom and dad, they ain't going to. You know, there's a lot of mom and dad going on up until about 13th grade, something like that. And sorry, that's a shot. But yeah, they got to own it, you know, because we can't do everything. And I've learned that with my own sons. They're, you know, college age. I can't do everything for them. They got to learn all these things that I've had to do, and I think that's good. I think that's good for these kids. We can't be the lawnmower parent who's trying to clear everything out for them because that hurts the kids. It hurts.
They don't build resilience.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you get something that's rolling up, and I'll drop this in too. Just the other connected thing that we have, because we do fun with a purpose. Yeah, earn the right to share. Right, I think we're all like that. Yeah. But also the other connecting factor we all have with all the camps was Eric Dowley. As the special needs guy. Oh, he's money, dude. Yes. That cat is money. He brings the kids. He's with them the whole time, and he integrates them in with the group. And I mean, I think that's wonderful. And just his patience and his love for them, and for everybody. He's a loving dude. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do it without him. So absolutely, he's great.
Yeah, that's funny that you brought that up because there's a specific student that went through our balance ministry. He's older now,
Colin,
but he went to beach camp, right? And he participated at our VBS, but because he's older now, Eric wanted to see, you know, hey, how can he be a leader? So he came to me and was like, hey, for VBS, I want to give Colin a leadership role, and I said, yeah, he can be one of our main greeters, and so, like, we do food every night at VBS, and so he was at the beginning of the line, and he gave everybody a high five, you know, and it was just so cool because when he started, he wouldn't talk to anybody. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was nonverbal, and now to give a high five and say hello and smile. It was just so cool to see the development, and a lot of that is because of Eric Dowley's ministry and because of the investment in at certain camps, and it was just cool to see that progression.
That's awesome. What a great story. What a great testimony. All right, so this will be for all three of you. This will kind of end us today. If it just so happened to be that like a parent or a loved one of one of your campers or VBS attenders is listening, is there something you'd want them to remind that student of from camp or from this summer in your ministry?
I would say two things. Number one, I would say that when you send your kids to VBS or any of our camps, you're providing the opportunity for a life-changing moment, either spiritually, emotionally, maturity-wise. You just don't know how God is going to impact the lives of the kids that participate. They're going to hear something, or they're going to meet somebody. They're going to do something that's going to change the trajectory of their life. Mm-hmm. And to choose to not participate, God can still move in their lives, but you're robbing them that opportunity.
Yeah, and every year it's a little bit different.
Right.
And it's not like we know who the kid is.
Right.
We never know. It's like, if they don't come, who knows who that could have been.
The other thing that I would say is that our group at Northside, they love people so well. For kids camp this year, we were able to invite and bring along another church with us, and that church is from San Angelo. Shout out to Paul Ann Church. And so they came. Well, that was at the end of July. Well, 3 weeks earlier, July 4th, is when the flooding happened, and their church was in the center of all of that universe. And so a lot of their families had gone through just absolute devastation. And what we heard over and over again was, we didn't know that there were large churches like you guys still around. Y'all have been so loving, so accepting. The fact that you would share all of your resources for us, it just made such an impact on that other church. And so a lot of parents are like, well, I don't want to send my kids out because I don't know who's going to be watching them. The people we bring to camp, they're the A-listers. They're the cream of the crop. And they love people so well. And I'm just so proud of that fact.
That's good.
That's good.
Bro, what would you want a high school student to be reminded of from this summer from camp?
I would definitely agree with everything that he said. But, it's one of those things that, man, camp is an easy opportunity to fast track relationships so quickly. Like, it's just, I think it's so important. One of those things, when you miss camp, I feel like you miss getting to know so many people so quickly. Mm-hmm. But advice or things that I would say is, I think we tend to think that there's a camp high, or you come back from camp and you're all excited. Camp is it's a picture of what walking with Jesus every single day would look like. Mm-hmm. So we just took that model and used it every single day.
Yeah.
What would our lives look like if we integrated into our everyday life what we do at camp? And I think we would experience that consistently all year round, and not think I need my camp high check for the year.
Yeah.
And so, just encouraging your student to, hey, remember how God moved at camp? It wasn't because they tricked you, right? It was because you actually, put down your phone, because they can't bring their phone. Some of them sneak a phone, but we find out and take it. But they don't have their phone. They're with other believers who love Jesus and are doing the same thing. Right, and that's essentially what our church is all about too. Right. If we could just drop our mission statement, leading every generation toward a fully formed life with Christ, right? And that's literally happening at camp. You're not doing it alone, and so you're encouraged. You're in the Word. You're spending time in prayer. God is exposing things through the Word being consistently preached, through the proclamation of the Word, through song, and it's just like, man, that's what following Jesus looks like every single day. Yeah. And we kind of rob ourselves when we isolate it to weekend events.
Right. Yeah.
So
take what's intensified in that, and now let's do it.
Yeah, with
and we get the same opportunities. I can't jump onto a zip line, but there are certainly steps in front of each of our students every day that for 4 years they've been afraid to take, and even they know they're missing out on something. Can we now take that step.
Absolutely, yeah.
If it's to a lunch table. Or
the girl
whatever.
that jumped off the zip line for the first time, maybe that propels her to be able to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
to be kind to someone who is struggling, that where before she would be too fearful.
Yeah.
You just don't ever know what God is going to use to catapult them into doing something that's godly.
That's good.
Yeah, I really, even when you say trajectory, changing the trajectory of one's life, we can't overemphasize that.
Right.
Yeah.
It changes everything.
That's good. That's good work. Bro,
Yo.
you got an 8th grader, a freshman, maybe a returning starter for the 7th grade team around here.
Oh gosh.
What might you want them to be reminded of from this summer?
I think what we talked about a lot was we can do this every day. It's not just a special trip, and
That's good.
we're not going to have the Gulf of Mexico to jump into with our friends, but we can just be there for each other and say, hey, man.
Yeah.
And I remember being a high school kid a long time ago, and Mark Williamson would say, it's peer power over peer pressure. We can cause the change. God leading us, of course, and man, let's dig in on it. What's holding us up, and I challenged them to live that life with each other, and not to be down on your brother when they're struggling, but to kind of come behind them. Hey, man, let me help you, bro. Not trying to say I made it. Let me just help you through that, and I think that's good. Accountability. We've got an adult in there too with 4 or 5 guys. Kind of coach them a little bit. And what I really like is the fact that we can put our phone down. Hey, adults, you can throw that down. You don't have to be on it all. Because I wish I didn't have mine all the time. Yeah. And there are days I just plug it in and leave it. Okay, unless there's like an earthquake or something.
Which you'll feel.
Or something. I'm going to be in the middle of it if it happens here. And we can do that because so much of our time, I always tell middle schools, there's no free time. We're accountable for all of it. That includes me, includes our leaders. Yeah. And
I wish you didn't say that.
Yeah, exactly, man. I don't want to say that to myself, but you're looking at and another big part of this summer, we had 4 guys helping us, 4 interns, and they were
good work.
All in and really connected with the guys. And that's guys need to be around guys, and girls need to be around girls. That's just the way it is sometimes. Kind of get somebody a little older that's building into you. Maybe you're building into somebody younger. Maybe you're kind of sharing that, and that's what we want to model. And hey, parents, we appreciate you trusting us with your kids. I know it's not easy because I had kids. They did the same things, went to the same trips and all those other things. But it's always better. And you know what's weird, and these guys will probably agree, isn't it weird how sometimes our kids will listen more to another adult than us? That's one of the weirdest things about parenting.
It's expected.
Is a guy told me years ago, the great Bill Cooper at Brock Baptist Church, I can't believe Jessica would listen to you more than me. And I said, well, I'm saying the same things, Bill.
Yeah.
And he told me later, you were saying the same thing. I go, yeah, it's a weird thing that happens sometimes. But if you got somebody, and that's what we want to do, we want to come beside the parents. They're the disciplers. We're just like the assistant coaches. Yeah. And that's what we want to be,
That's good.
Now, they're not going to get up there and have fun like Jason is, a lot of our parents, or, Jason made a video for the opening night tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and you're dropping all the cool words of this generation. And, of course, kids are like, what? This is awful, because they're not used to that kind of thing, but they love that,
And he got the meaning of all the words correct.
He got them all right. That ain't easy. It's just like when we were young, we had our own slang words and stuff we said, and it's just funny. What I used to drive my boys crazy with, instead of memes, I go, you guys seen that meme? And they'd go, Dad, oh my gosh, that's not what you call it, Dad. So, have a little fun. We got to have a little fun here.
Makes it fun.
Nothing like having kids to keep you from having fun, right? Super nice. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, America.
Thank you.
Well, on that note, that'll do it.
Was that it? We're done?
Thank you for listening to the Every Gym podcast.
Hey, let's be careful out there.